Hey everyone, Antisocial Socialite back with another video. Thanks so much for checking in. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, hit the notification bell so when I'm running my mouth, that's M-O-U-F, running my mouth, you are able to be in on the action. Okay, you see the title, you know what time it is. Black women stay at home until marriage. This is not going to be a long video because I really don't have a lot to say. I say that every time and the videos just get longer. When I really think about some of the reasons black women really struggle to settle down, I feel like black people like the idea of romance, but they're not always really that romantic. They always over equate sex with romance and sex with love. And a lot of women, in case you don't know, or ladies, if you're listening, men are going to categorize you into about three categories. Somebody that you're just sleeping with. There's no love, there's no romance. You're really just like your go-to when no other chick is really available. Get in. That guy is just going to use you for a release. And then as soon as he's finished, he's going to send you on his way. The booty call, the hookup, whatever you want to call it. The 9 to 5. You can come in at 9 and you have to be out before 5. Then there's the friends with benefits. It's like you're cool, you're chilling, you're chatting, you like each other, you enjoy each other's company. You couldn't really see each other in a relationship, but the sex is good. So while you're being friends, you're getting a little bit in at the same time. Then there's like the quote unquote girlfriend. This is the one who he knows he doesn't want to marry, but you're good for the time being. You're the placeholder. You're the consistent companionship that is there right now. And he doesn't want to get married, or he doesn't want to marry you, but you're a good girlfriend. He's not alone. And then there's the women that these men actually feel are wife material. So that's just by the way. At any time, as a woman, you can be quote unquote promoted or demoted. But I wouldn't advise a woman to try to make a man see you as something that he doesn't. And what I mean by that is, if you know that you're like at least one of the first two, a 9 to 5 or a friends with benefits, you're kind of in a situation is like, well, why am I buying the cow when I'm getting the milk for free? Okay, maybe a serious girlfriend. He might be thinking, if this chick really plays her cards right, I might marry her. But dudes often know at a very early stage whether they really see you as that kind of person they'd want to invest in like that. So I would never encourage a man or a woman really to waste their time playing these games of trying to make the person, especially a man who already knows his mind, do something that he doesn't really want to do. Firstly, why would you want a man to be around? Why would you want him to be around if he really doesn't want to be there? Like, how can you feel good being with a man who is basically there? You're coercing him, is under duress. It's just ridiculous. The beauty of love is the risk involved in love. That you could give the love and maybe you don't get it back. And if you do, it's like, oh, thrilling. But if he's almost like, you have him under some type of spell or something, it's not really real love. And I'm not going to say that's just me, but it just doesn't make any sense. Trying to force feelings in a man who doesn't want to be there is like, it's so ridiculous. And 9 times out of 10, it's probably only going to lead to heartache somewhere down the line anyway. black women, this kind of riding on the back of the video about traditionalism. There's a reason in other cultures the girls stay at home. You see, as a woman, you're going to get bored easily. And once you start getting into your late 20s, early 30s, you kind of settle into who you're going to be. So if you're used to being carefree, independent, you don't have to ask anybody anything, your only needs you have to think about are your own. It's going to become quite challenging when you have to now live harmoniously with a man. Especially if you're trying to be submissive and actually follow his lead. It's like Lot's wife looking back at Sodom. It's like, oh, if he wasn't here, I could just go out. If he wasn't here, I wouldn't have to shave my legs, or, you know, if he wasn't here, I could just get takeout again because I wouldn't have to cook a meal. I could just order something or go to my friend's house. Yes. Yes. That friend that always has that full fridge. In fact, we're only friends because of that fridge. And I'm joking. I don't have friends like that. But, there are some people like that. They're literal eat and go people. It's like as the plate is finished, it's like, thank you so much. Goodbye. And it's like, we as women, we get bored easily and we get set in our ways easily. So once we get into this routine of living alone, doing our own thing, being the queens of our castles, the whole prospect of a man either coming in or us abandoning our established homes to go and live with a man, or everybody selling all their stuff and starting again. Other cultures look forward to this. This is why when I look at some of these programs where even white men who marry white women, even women who have kids from previous relationships, it wasn't even a thought to say, okay, we're going to sell everything and we're going to buy again afresh. You sell your stuff, I'll sell my stuff. Maybe we'll keep a property because we can rent it. But apart from that, we want a clean slate. We want to start some new memories. Holding on to the past and your life as a single person is going to stop you from being able to move forward. And again, this is not me saying, oh, as a woman, you haven't got the right to work, or you haven't got the right to be educated, or you should stay at home and just die, But it's more important for a man to leave home and become established than it is for a woman. Because women need security. And one of the ways a man can show he has the capacity to make you secure is that he has his own thing going. So if you as a woman are secure because you have your own place, you have your own things, you have your own routine, who do you think you are coming into my house trying to tell me how to live my life? There's no way you're going to be able to build a relationship that's happy and functioning on that. It's just not going to happen. Because you now have a power struggle. If the man moves in with you, you don't respect him. You're not going to respect him because you have the upper hand. If he, quote unquote, acts up, you can just put him out. No skin off your nose. If you have your own things, you may be more attached to your things than he is to his, or he wants to keep his stuff, you want to keep your stuff. And now you've got this clash. Other races, the women stay at home for a reason. Because the newness of married life, living with the person, not cohabitating before you get married. The newness of, knowing what it's like to live in a house with the opposite sex. And these are all things that should be talked about before you get married. You know, how many bathrooms do we need? What kind of habits do you have? Da, 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 da. It's a merger. It's a business deal. It's a contract. It's not love and skipping through roses. It's actually about understanding the nitty-gritty of who this person is. So you're going into it with eyes wide open. The man shouldn't have a man cave because it's a joint property. The whole family should be able to enjoy the whole house. And yeah, maybe he needs like a games room or something if you can afford it, or convert the basement if you have that, or he just has bro time or whatever. You need that so you guys keep your own identities alive. But it's more important that women push their sons to go and have a place, manage bills, manage his finances, than it is to push your daughter. Because once that daughter becomes so headstrong that she's too independent, she will never be able to take the constructive criticism or advice of a man. This is why so many women today are single. Or single with children. Because they don't feel like the man brings any value to their life, because they're already doing it all by themselves. It's a recipe for disaster, because these women, they want to maintain control. So they have their home, they have their cars, they have their money, and instead of saying, I'm going to be traditional and I need a man to come in and be traditional, she's like, I want to do it all, but I want to still and be traditional for this man who can't even lead or support or provide. This is why you have so many women. I spoke to one online just yesterday. Oh, I let him use my car. I'm carrying him here and there. When he was down and out, I'm supporting him. And blah, blah, blah. And I said, you know, I didn't say it like this, but I say now more for you. You were under the illusion that you could buy this man's love, or that if you build him up, he is going to turn back and say, thank you so much for building me up. Here's my heart. But you wouldn't have been in that position had you just done it the traditional way, which was, even if you live at home, I need to see what you're bringing to the table. And what I bring to the table as a woman, not necessarily me personally, but what you should be saying, and what I need to say as well, is I'm feminine, I'm cooperative, I love to cater to my man. If we have children, the children are priority. My education and my career will take a back seat. At least until the children are old enough to kind of, you know, to care for themselves a little bit. Maybe I have to take a 10-year break. And this is what I also expect. If we don't have a mutually beneficial relationship, we cannot work. Because I'm going to submit and I want to see that you can lead. And I'm not talking about just base level respect, and if I don't see it, I'm going to be disrespectful. But as a feminine woman, you're courteous, you're kind, you're nurturing, you're loving anyway. But obviously there's a degree to which you're going to go to when you're talking about your man. And when you've been living alone for a long time, you get set in your ways. You get used to running your world the way that you like it. You've created a system where there's no room for anybody else. But if you stay at home until you're married, there's so many things to sample, so many new experiences to be had, where as you have these experiences, you're growing in the relationship and you're becoming bonded to your man. It's going to be easier. You know, in the last video I talked about how mothers and daughters naturally start to clash, because as the daughter starts to come into her prime and get sexual attention from men, she wants to feel how the mother feels being the queen of the castle. That sense of unrest is natural. It's natural to want to go off and start a life as a big woman on your own, because you're in your prime, you're getting into your childbearing years and childbearing ability, you're peaking in your sexual marketplace value, your options are at their highest because you have a lot of older guys approaching you, blah blah blah. So it's natural that you're going to start to want to cut those cords with your mother to establish your own thing. But it's not a wise move, because this is why so many young girls get into trouble. They're getting pregnant. They're getting caught up in situations where they shouldn't be. And there's still certain things at that age they need to learn from a solid parent. This whole I'm grown, I'm ready, I can do it all by, do battle by myself because I'm 19. I'm an adult. How many people are looking back now thinking, I wish I'd just listened. I wish I'd just stayed at home. You know, so if you're a person, you're an older woman, you live on your own, you're accomplished and you have all of it going on. Obviously, I'm not saying now you need to sell all your stuff and go back home. But the attachment that you have to your current life has to start to go down so that you are ready and willing to build when that man comes into your life. If you're so attached to your current life that you have no space for a new man in your life, no matter how good that man is, it's going to naturally happen that you just drive him away. Because although you claim to be in a relationship, you're a single woman with a man. And when the guy sees that, he's not going to say, most of them are not going to say, oh, I see you're a single woman with a man. He's just going to take. And this is not me disparaging men. This is not me throwing men under the bus and saying all men are bad. But the guy is not going to just say, well, if sex is on the table, I'm going to pass it up. If I get the girlfriend experience without the commitment or really any sacrifice or work, I'm going to pass it up. Most of them are not going to say that. And that's why you have so many of these women out here crying about being exploited by men. When really what happened was, these women are operating in a masculine frame of mind. And then they want to be the provider, and they also want to be the nurturer. They want to keep their independent life, but at the same time they want to cater to a man who hasn't committed to them. It's like you've got to pick a side. At least if you're a masculine woman with a soft man, you're the wearing the pants and you're the man, and he's the beta simp who will sit there and be that yes man. And although in a lot of these instances we know the women don't have respect for the man, at least there's a man and there's a woman in that relationship. But when you have a woman trying to do it all, it leaves the man with the option to do nothing except maybe provide some sex and some sperm. And this is why so many black women are really struggling today. So if you're a young person listening to this and you haven't left home, please reconsider leaving home. You can still get your education. You can still really pursue your career. It gives you an opportunity to stack money. Maybe you want to get what we used to call back in the day a bottom drawer. I had a friend a long time ago. Her family used to take the mick out of her so much because her bedroom looked like a storeroom. She had bought a microwave. She had bought a cutlery, bedding, you name it. Anything that she could really take with her. She knew what she wanted. Now, I know that's contradictory to what I said earlier about don't be too attached to your current life. But if you know you want to have maybe certain towels or cutlery, or, you get a toaster or this or that, you start putting, even if you don't want to buy the physical items, you have the money set aside. So when you get your partner, you move in together, you can pull your money and you can go and build memories with your partner. Remember when we went here and we picked up this lamp? Remember when we went here, we bought that sofa together? Remember this, remember that? Remember the argument we had about whether it should be this or that, blah, blah, blah. The whole house is a collection of memories that you guys have created together, as opposed to two monarchs, a king and a queen, clashing over whose things stay and whose things goes. That's all I got for this one. No, the police are not coming for me. Not this time. So if you can hear sirens in the background, I'm really sorry. Can you be quiet? If you found this video helpful, if you have any comments or suggestions, chuck them in the comment section below. Like, share, comment, subscribe. And I'm out. Peace.